Welcome to Cybersecurity Awareness TV, episode number 412, recorded November 26, 2022. My name is Mac Jackson Jr. I am your cybersecurity consultant and cybersecurity researcher. If this is the first time you're seeing our show, I discuss cybersecurity tips, news, and interviews to help protect you from the fastest growing crimes of the 21st century. If you'd like to find out more about my show, definitely go to my website at macjacksonjr.com. That's macjacksonjr.com. I want to send a thanks and a shout out to all of you who followed us over the years here on WWDBTV, Cybersecurity Awareness TV. You can find us on the Roku network. We definitely like you to follow us on all social media. Remember to share, like, and hit that subscribe button, folks, to be a part of our information community, folks. You can also find us on the Patreon channel at patreon.com/Mac Jackson Jr. In today's episode, we're going to discuss cybersecurity stories from around the world to help protect you from identity theft and cyber crimes, what's going on out there in the world, and what you can do and what you need to know. In our second segment, we will discuss the FBI warnings on cybersecurity and how businesses are hit by these types of cyber threats and what the FBI and law enforcement agencies are warning the public about. In our third segment, as we do every week, we talk about tips that you can do today to protect yourself from these types of cyber attacks. In our first story, folks, cyber news, cybersecurity from around the world. In this story, I have researched cybersecurity techniques and cybersecurity stories from all around the world relating to cyber threats. More than a dozen employees of Meta, formerly Facebook, have been penalized or terminated when the company discovered that they had allegedly misused the internal system to hijack users' data. Now, if you listen to our show, you know that we talk about the insider threat, right? Affecting companies, the insider threat, meaning the disgruntled employees. Well, now Meta, AKA Facebook, has the same issue. According to persons who were working there at Meta that were aware of the instance of these internal records, Meta claims that the workers asked users for bribes, to keep their data safe and protected, and to restore and protect certain people from having access to other parts of the information system within the organization. Folks, we always say you must vet your employees as well and let them know the severity of not following the company's internal policies and procedures. We have a story I'd like to share to you, coming to you today from the Wall Street Journal.
This is your tech news briefing for Monday, November 21st. I'm Zoe Thomas for the Wall Street Journal. Over 24 workers at Meta have been fired or disciplined as part of an internal investigation by company executives into the misuse of an internal system known as OOPS. That's according to people familiar with the matter and documents viewed by the Wall Street Journal. The abuse of that system raises questions about how much control and access some Meta staff and contractors have to users' data. Joining us to discuss this WSJ exclusive is our reporter, Kirsten Grind. Hi, Kirsten. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Can you start by telling us a little bit more about this OOPS system?
Yes, it's short for online operations, and it's this internal Meta system that allows employees and contractors to basically file an internal request, almost like a complaint, when there's a problem with their or like a friend or family's Facebook or Instagram account. One way to think of it is like a concierge helpline, right? If you lost your password, if your account has been hacked, but again, only for insiders at Meta and only for their friends and family.
What do we know about how the system was misused?
What Meta has been investigating for over a year is this issue where through the OOPS channel, if you're an employee or a contractor, you would have access to a user's account, which you can do through that channel. And so rather than using that to, say, help a user, some of these employees and contractors were misusing it. They were getting into user accounts, often with the purpose of taking the accounts over and reselling them, sometimes for a lot of money.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how we know this information?
So my colleague and I, Bob McMillan, we've actually been looking into this for quite a long time because we kind of couldn't believe that actual employees and contractors, some of whom were physical security guards, so not really people who normally would have access to Meta systems, that this was happening. And so we spent a lot of time calling around and talking to various parties. And we learned through the course of that this was actually an issue that Meta has been investigating for some time.
For the people who were victims of the misuse of this OOPS system, what was the experience like for them?
So Meta is notorious for its terrible customer service, meaning they actually have almost no customer service. So unfortunately, there's a frequency in which users either get locked out of their account or are hacked, or something as simple as losing your password, and there's just literally no one you can contact at Meta by phone or email. Now, Meta is working on this. They say they're committed to building this out. But right at this moment, there's not anything like that. So for the user, you actually have no idea if it's an actual bad actor hacker that's gotten into your account, or now maybe what we're revealing is it could actually have been a Meta employee, right? Now we're saying we know of more than 24 employees and contractors over the last year. So I don't want to give the mistaken impression that there's widespread misuse of the system by Meta employees. But as a user, you would just basically be having issues with your account that you can't fix. And in a lot of cases, you just lose your account because you can't get through to anyone.
What steps has Meta taken to deal with the situation?
So as part of this investigation, they've actually fired and or disciplined, we say more than 24 employees and contractors. And so they've been at this for quite a long time looking into it. They're clearly aware it's an issue. They've told us that this is not something that they will tolerate on any of their platforms and that they'll continue to go after these types of people.
And you mentioned some of those people were contractors. What has the contracting company said about the situation?
So the company is called Allied Universal, and they literally just provide security guards stationed at Meta properties. But the thing is, accessing this OOPS platform was kind of a perk of the job. And so what happened there is some people were abusing it. So Allied has told us they don't stand for that and they won't tolerate abuse either.
What does this situation then tell us about kind of our access and control of, what we think of as our own personal data and to these social media pages that can be so important to us personally or, even for some businesses?
It's true, unfortunately, that you can lose access and not get it back. There's ways, and we helpfully put something online at the Wall Street Journal website to protect your account from hackers and to make sure you have the right security on there so you don't lose your account or you don't find yourself in a situation where you're trying to contact Facebook or Instagram with no customer service. But at the end of the day, it's their platform and there's not a lot of recourse at this point for losing your account or anything like that.
All right, that's our reporter, Kirsten Grein. Thanks so much for explaining this to us.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it for today's Tech News Briefing. For more tech stories, head over to our website, WSJ.com. I'm Zoe Thomas for the Wall Street Journal. Thanks for listening.
Incredible, folks. Incredible what's going on with Meta. And we will definitely follow that story. Definitely stay tuned to this channel. We will follow up with the story on any other impacts with that incident going on with Meta, aka Facebook. But in a breaking news story here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV, after paying $44 billion about a year ago, Elon Musk, in the process of remaking Twitter, which has been part of the firm's now collapsing business, it seems that the billionaire is working hard to leave his mark on a social media service. He has done things like laying off half of all the staff employees, firing people who disagree with him, and looking for new subscription products. This is a stern warning, and giving a stern warning to the company that if they don't get their act together, the company will be forced into bankruptcy. Now, the question is whether Elon Musk, who's 51 years old, has gone too far. After being given a deadline by Musk to determine whether to leave the company or remain in the company, hundreds of the staff at Twitter decided to quit. That's right. Because of this, many employees decided to leave. Users of Twitter were wondering if the company will be able to maintain their presence in the future. Will the company survive? According to three persons that used to work for Twitter, they determined that because of this massive layoff, which has happened to at least 1,200 full-time employees have resigned last Thursday, will Twitter be able to maintain and go through this? This is something that history has shown us that has been done before in the business of Elon Musk as well in the past with other companies such as PayPal and Tesla. But we're going to see. Definitely we'll follow the story and see where it would lead us. In our next story, folks, we will discuss a major cyber attack that's growing around the country. And this cyber attack is something everyone should be aware of, letting you know that because we're in the holiday season right now, cyber hackers are definitely increasing their presence in trying to exploit individuals and businesses regarding their personal data and personal information. So there are some things that we want you to definitely pay attention to. And I have a story here from CNBC News on the growing threats of cybercrimes. Check out this story.
Cyber criminals are having a field day amid the pandemic and the migration to work from home.
Well, hackers have been attacking businesses of all sizes and types.
Insurers are seeing a massive spike in damages. AIG says ransomware claims have grown 150% since 2018, with ransom demands sometimes growing to tens of millions of dollars, and thieves stealing proprietary information in the process. Cybersecurity Ventures predicts by 2025, cybercrime globally could amount to $10.5 trillion. The head of insurance giant Chubb says it could get worse.
The next pandemic, the exposure that looks like a virus is cyber related because it has no geographic or time bound to it.
Cybercrime investigators say a pandemic is totally plausible. In fact, we're already getting a taste with Microsoft and SolarWind hacks.
Their supply chain attacks. Compromising or exploiting vulnerabilities in their software enabled the adversaries, and not just one adversary, a multitude of adversaries, access to tens of thousands of other networks, hundreds of thousands of customers.
Cyber attacks have the potential to take down the power grid, take down the internet, and all the systems that rely on it. Some lawmakers are now sounding the alarm.
Imagine if an adversary wanted to toy with our financial markets. Imagine if an adversary had the ability to control supply chains and manipulate whatever they wanted. It doesn't take much to realize the horror that would ensue if an adversary were motivated to do any of these things.
Experts in the field say the only way effectively to combat the threat is through a public-private partnership. The government, military, cyber experts, insurers coming together, formulating a plan to defend the system and mitigate the damage. Lessons we could learn from the impact of coronavirus and our failure to plan and respond effectively
Contessa
there, Chef.
Brewer, thank you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.
So folks, we must stay vigilant, we must stay proactive versus reactive when it comes to cyber threats. And here is a new 3-letter term that I am working on for the next year for our company, Vantage the Cyber Group, and it is the KPI, which normally would mean key indicators, right? Key performance indicators, but I'm going to change it a little bit. We consider KPI as Cybersecurity Awareness equals KPI. The KPI stands for keep people interested, keep people informed, keep people involved, and keep people inspired by protecting them from the fastest growing crimes here of the 21st century, folks. The holiday season, folks, is upon us. This week starts the Black Friday shopping, and of course here today, Saturday, is one of the biggest shopping days of the year. We want you all to stay safe out there, folks, from these types of cyber crimes. And remember to just stop and think first before you click on an email that you may get from an advertiser stating that there's a Black Friday sale and you need to take 50% off or whatever amount they're trying to get you to click onto. Just be very, very careful, folks, and not to click on things that you are not aware of, that you can't vet and make sure that it is legitimate. With that, folks, we'll be back with our second segment here at Cybersecurity Awareness TV after these messages. Hello, folks. This is Mac Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line, and it will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here #StayCyberWoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MacJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back. Hi, folks. Welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I am your host, Mac Jackson Jr. In our second segment, we're talking about the FBI warnings for businesses regarding cybersecurity threats. In our next story, we will discuss some of the newest scams that the FBI has warned the U.S. regarding fake tech support calls, folks. Yeah, that's right, fake tech support calls. Boy, I tell you, folks, what this means is that you would have your computer system and the hackers, rather than getting you to click on email, these hackers are getting brazen. They will try to seduce you into answering or clicking onto a site or guiding you to a website by using fake tech support calls. Yes, they're actually calling you. So you're not just getting a fake email, folks. You're getting a phone call from these hackers stating they're from your manufacturer of your PC, or they work within your organization, or the software company that your business uses, and they're claiming to be tech support. Now, they may have part of your information, folks, that would make them seem legitimate. They may have your employer. They may have part of your employee ID number. They may know about your company. That would give you the comfort thinking that you're talking to a legitimate person. But folks, you must vet these people out. Here's a story I will share with you. And after this story, folks, I have another one for you that's really going to shock you. It's a live hacking attack. We're going to take a look at that too. But first, here's a story from WGN News.
The FBI is issuing a warning about a rise in tech support scams.
Scammers are posing as customer or tech support representatives from reputable tech companies in order to gain access to victims' bank accounts. With us this morning to tell us more about this FBI scam is Special Agent not an FBI scam. This scam is FBI Special Agent Siobhan Johnson. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
So tell us what makes this different than other scams people have heard about before.
There's always a scam going on, but the different thing here is that it's working and how much it's working. So typically we'll see $100, $1,000 lost. We're seeing millions of dollars to single victims here, and that's a big deal.
And how does the scam work?
In this scam, they're going to reach out to you. So it might be a pop-up on your computer screen. It might be an email, a text, or a call. But the common denominator is they're going to tell you they've identified a problem. Lo and behold, they're going to fix it for you. You just have to act fast and download this app.
And are they using like big name companies? Is it cable companies? Is it your phone company? What have you been seeing so people know what to look out for?
Fantastic question. They're using the big name companies that everyone knows. It might be a software company, it might be your internet service provider, and they're offering to fix something. But ask yourself, how often do these companies proactively reach out to help you? Not very often, right? So that's the first red flag that this might not be the truth.
And are they targeting specific people like seniors, or is it completely random?
We can't say who they're targeting. We can say who it's working most on, and that is older Americans. People over the age of 60 have seen the most targeting, the most victimization right now.
Well, I think a lot of people know, okay, you just don't answer your phone if it's something you don't recognize, but is there something in these text messages or emails that are red flags you could look out for? Because sometimes you get that and you think, what's happening?
Absolutely. So some of the key things that you're going to see, there might be spelling mistakes, it might be punctuation that's out of line. They might tell you something that sounds kind of ridiculous on its face, but your social security account number has been compromised. That is not generally a real thing, right? So they can't freeze your social security account number for you, but they want you to click right here or call us, and then they say, just give us remote access to your computer, and we'll make it all go away.
I don't know if you saw this week in the New York Times, there was an opinion piece that said the FBI is a little behind when it comes to cyber crime because it's a relatively new crime. We've seen a lot with ransomware, ties to governments. Where are we with the FBI? What is the challenge?
The challenge with cyber crimes is that it's always changing, so we need to make sure that our workforce is up to date with the latest technology. The beautiful thing about these scams, though, is that these are very basic scams, and the thing you need is to prepare yourself to not click on that button, to hang up that phone. It's not about technological savvy, it's simply about you being aware enough to know that this is a scam.
And if they tell you, call this phone number, don't go there, check your bank and check Google to find the actual phone number of that place, right?
Exactly, 30 seconds of research and you can save yourself from being one of the thousands of victims we see.
And as long as we have you here with the FBI, I won't put you on the spot for numbers, but when it comes to Chicago, is there something you see that we're not doing right, or we should be doing differently compared to a New York or Los Angeles that does not have the numbers that we have in Chicago?
You know, that's a very good question. I don't know if there's something specific that Chicago must do in a Chicago way, but I can tell you something that's going to make a major impact, but it does take time. We need community engagement, and that's partially an effort that we need to do as officers of the law, and partially something that we need the public's help in because we can't do it alone. We need to solve these problems at kind of the community level. We need to have programs for children to go into. We need to be able to keep children be able to dream of a life where they can have a good job, stable housing, and things like that. And really, that's us going out in the community with outreach to let people know we are the police, but we are here to help make the world a safer place. We're not out to get you. So really, it's a holistic issue, and I think that part is the same across the nation in every large city.
All right, Agent Johnson, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You can, if you want to file a complaint, you can visit ic3.gov. If you hear of any of these scams, you can also go to visit the FBI.gov for more information.
It is 8.
Hi, folks. Welcome back. So in the next story I have to share for you, I want to try to set it up for you before you see the actual video. Here in Las Vegas, we have a convention every year called Black Hat and DevCon. This convention that comes to Las Vegas every year is the Olympics, if you would, for cybersecurity professionals. Good people and bad people all meet and congregate to talk about ways that they can improve the cyber posture for organizations and individuals. We talk about cyber threats as well as who, what, where, and what's going on in the world of cyber crimes. The video I'm getting ready to show you, folks, is from that event. It's being narrated by a reporter that goes to this event here in Las Vegas and gets to know the foundation of how it operates. He's also introduced to an organization that provides cybersecurity training for businesses and how to protect them from cyber attacks. And he's introduced to a hacker that used a technique called the crying baby. This is a way to get a person to understand, to feel, or use the psychological positions of a person to understand that they are trying to get them to do things, to coerce them in their tech support. Folks, this video is pretty amazing. It uses a very, very interesting technique of trickery that's been done for hundreds of years, but now with technology, it's now in the forefront. Don't let this happen to you or your family, folks. Check out this video.
DEF CON is the biggest hacker convention of the year. It's a place where thousands of hackers come to hear talks, to demonstrate their newest hacks. It's actually a place that's so dangerous to be on the internet that they tell you to turn off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on your phone, and they tell you not to use the ATMs too, because those could be hacked as well. This is the DEF CON ballroom. This is sort of the main room where things are happening, and it's pretty wild. I think this is Car Hacking Village. This car's locked. Can you get me in?
I'll unlock it for you. Should be good.
Hacking is no longer like this fringe activity, and if you are at DEF CON, there's a good chance that you're here because you want to learn what could happen to you or your company.
Anyone here first time in the SCCTF? Holy crap.
I invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're gonna hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some,
yeah,
see if it works?
Yeah, we probably could have our star visher here make some phone calls as
Let's do it.
Sure. Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it. Who are you gonna call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. My husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry, I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Shh. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay, my
Jessica uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yes.
I really thought that my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like, this is the most basic stuff, and they're not doing it. And if they're not doing it, you know all these other businesses aren't doing it either. Anyone with a phone and an internet connection can do social engineering. But I was curious, what can a hacker with serious coding skills do?
Well, DEF CON is the world's biggest hacking convention. It's hacking everything, hacking social, hacking hardware, hacking software, hacking various systems.
I asked Dan Tentler, a well-known security researcher, to turn all of his firepower on me.
I did get into quite a number of things that I found.
So what were the first things you did? How did you start hacking me?
I quickly found your Squarespace blog and had an idea. Basically what I did was created a bogus Squarespace site and sent an email to you, a phish asking you to go to this website, run this certificate installer.
And I did it, because I'm an idiot.
So once you ran that, it gave me access to your computer, and I created several fake pop-ups that looked like system pop-ups that would ask you for your credentials.
You didn't even have to have my passwords.
No, you gave them to me.
I gave them to you.
Yeah. So I stole your 1Password keychain.
And 1Password is where I store all my other passwords. So effectively by...
And your social security number and your Amex stuff and all your stock trading and bank information. I can send email to everyone in this room as you. I am you right now, if I wanted to be. If my evilness is working correctly, it should actually be taking pictures of your desktop and pictures through your webcam every 2 minutes. And I have been watching you for about 2 days now. In coffee shops, at your mom's house, on a plane. Here's your editing stuff. There's you like.
Oh my God! So this is literally
every 2 minutes
through my webcam.
Yeah, through this guy.
How badly could you have messed up my life?
I could have made you homeless. I could have made you homeless and penniless.
How would you make me homeless?
Like, I have control of your digital life in its entirety. I have all your credentials, I have all your access to all your financial information, all your work information, all your personal information. I can pay people with your bank account or your Amex account. I am you. I can fully impersonate. Like, the only thing I couldn't doctor would be like your fingerprints.
This is like as bad as it gets.
It's ridiculous, yeah, it's bad.
So it turns out that Dan Tentler is very good at his job. I mean, he hacked the hell out of me. He got everything. I mean, frankly, I want to take my computer and throw it into the deepest part of the ocean, and I want to become a hermit, and I want to never touch a piece of technology again, because holy shit, that was everything. That was the keys to my entire life, and he just pulled them out of his pocket.
Folks, what I tell you, what a video, right? Could that happen to you? Do you think that you could use that sort of crying baby to get what you want from somebody of customer service on the other side of the phone? Hackers, folks, are always coming up with ways. They study this, folks. These hackers have training programs like you and I are talking now. Hackers are doing the same thing to come up with ways to exploit your personal and basically, folks, your humanity. Yes, psychologically, to get you to enter a website to do things that you would never ever do if you knew of the truth behind it. So folks, we must stay vigilant. The story that you've seen, tell other folks, tell other people about what you've heard here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV, folks. We need to stay vigilant for all these sort of things. We must educate the public and our businesses on what's going on and work closely with law enforcement. If you have questions about this, definitely contact my company, Vanderson Cyber Group, or you can go to my website at macjacksonjr.com, folks, and we can discuss how to protect your business from these types of cyber threats. Folks, we must #stay cyberwoke. We'll be back after these messages. Hi folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. This is segment 3 where we discuss tips on how you protect yourselves from cyber crimes. In this segment, I talk about what you can do and what you should tell other people to do in your family and your organization to protect themselves from these cyber threats. Like we say every week, folks, the first thing to do, folks, is make sure that you're on top of your passwords. Your passwords are the first line of defense when you go to a website, right? When you go to a website, enter your data to get access. Make sure that you're on a PC or a device that is protected, folks, with antivirus software or VPN, and that it's protected. And your password, make sure you change it. I recommend changing it every quarter, every 3 months, right? Throughout the year, every 3 months, change 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months is good, yeah, because I know a lot of you are going, 90 days, I can't do that. Every 4 months, every quarter, change your password and have a password manager to help you in this process, because a lot of you would tell me all the time. I just got a couple emails last week from people that will say, well, Mac, I have hundreds of passwords. How can I remember all of these? It's so difficult. Make sure you have a password manager. What a password manager does, folks, it will encrypt and scramble your passwords to make it harder for the hackers to hack into your system. And it will give you the peace of mind to know that all you need is to remember is one password with one user ID to have access to your vault of passwords. So if you'd like to find out more information about that, definitely contact me and I can walk you through that or recommend some password management systems for you. So make sure you change your passwords. Now, with that said, we talk about the password because that's what we're used to, folks, but the statement that we are saying, we meaning the people in cybersecurity professionals, use a passphrase. We want to have a passphrase which is long, not a little short password like Raiders or Raiders spelled backwards or the S turned into a $sign. No, not like that. We want to have a password. You could try like an English sentence, something that you could understand, your family would understand, but it makes it harder for hackers. Contact me and I'll show you a diagram of how fast it is to crack your passwords when it is short and how long it takes for a hacker to crack your passwords when it's longer. Contact me and I'll show you a diagram of this. Now, that's the first thing, your password. The second like we always say, make sure that you are on top of all the updates that your computer system, your phones are trying to send you. You will get these notifications from your manufacturer telling you there are updates that you need to update your computer systems. Please do. These updates are ways to keep your machine up to date of the latest types of scams, if you would, or updates or patches that the manufacturers have discovered about your hardware that need to be updated. You need to do that for your laptops and desktops, as well as your smartphones as well. Make sure you have the latest updates on them. And speaking of phones, folks, your phone is nothing more than a computer system itself. So make sure you have antivirus software on your phones as well, folks. That's right. A lot of people I talk to about this are not aware that the phone is another access point for hackers to get into your network if they can attack your cell phones. And they're doing it now using SMS messages, folks. That's right, sending you text messages. Because shows like this one, Cybersecurity Awareness TV, and all of the reports and stories that you have learned over the years from law enforcement and people in our industry, we're telling folks not to click on emails that look suspicious, right? Now hackers are looking at other ways to get you, if you would, to exploit you. They're using SMS messages, a text message. There's no graphics in there stating it's from your bank. It's just your bank's name with a URL for you to click on. Now we're used to these clicks because we send SMS messages to all our friends and family, text messages all the time with new photos of places we've been. Be careful of that, folks. Even someone sending you a picture and you click on that link of a photo, there's researchers now that's showing that a lot of photos, this is really concerning, that photos, folks, have embedded malware within the actual picture. There's more to that we're researching here, and definitely stay tuned. We're going to do more research about that, but we're understanding that hackers are actually putting code within pictures that can actually affect your machine and cause damage. So definitely be careful. Do not click on anything that you're not aware of. If something that you look at looks suspicious, just contact them, pick up a phone and call them and ask them, did they send you this photo or picture? And better yet, now the pandemic has slowed down, why don't you meet them one-on-one? Have that human action. Bring it back again. Folks, that's all we have for you this week. I want to thank you for being part of our information here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV. And we'd like to have you again share, like, and subscribe to all of our resources we have here at Cybersecurity Awareness TV. Tell your friends and family. This information is very, very important. We must stay vigilant. We must stay proactive in protecting our data assets from these cyber hackers out there. Until next week, folks, take care.